Well,
We've got to have both.
not to detract from what you're achieving. There's always this thing, even if you look at Kenyan history as is, there was the generation of perhaps my father and that kind of person who were the first to get educated. Now, by definition, they were poor because they'd just come from the village. And over time, they became the elite, even despite themselves. So you're creating a leadership, opening exposure to the outside world, and then your products will be wanting to join golf clubs and sort of eat with chopsticks.
It's really interesting, but does it have to be that way? It's really
I'm
interesting.
asking you
really
what your line, once you've created the leader, do they come back to lead? Does the neurosurgeon come back to, sort of do intricate operations in his village town? I'm just saying there is a movement. How do you ensure that? How do you ensure that giving back process?
So one of the critical components of an Akili Dada scholarship is every young woman who's on an Akili Dada scholarship is required to design, initiate, and conduct a community service project in her community 3 times a year.
Right.
3 times a year. What that helps us ensure is that you've got a young woman who, even though she's in the national school, even though she's got access to tremendous resources, educational resources, she's also deeply connected to her community. And every 3 or 4 months is going back to the community and finding out what needs to be done and working with her community to design solutions.
And once she's got a PhD in neurosurgery, once she's finished her studies,
the expectation is that she will be the neurosurgeon who comes up with a creative solution for the health problems of her community. And that is inculcated in Akili Dada's young women from the day we select you. Our selection process is designed to look for young women who have that passion. It's not enough to be smart. There's lots of smart young women in Kenya. What we're looking for is that passion for community, that passion for giving back. And so even at age 13, we're looking for that young woman who mobilized her fellow Sunday school goers to plant trees in the village, to plant trees in the local dispensary. That's who we're looking for. And we believe if you can identify her, bring along access to good quality education, bring along a mentor who's going to encourage and reinforce, and most importantly, a curriculum that's designed to reinforce the need to serve community. We believe what you're going to see 10, 20 years from now is a cohort of young women leaders who think very differently about leadership, and for whom the first important thing about leadership is not getting into elected office, but actually transforming lives.
So the curriculum that you're suggesting would be quite divergent from the state curriculum.
Yes, it is. It is. We see ourselves as complementary to it.
But let's visualize this. I'm going to school. You've chosen me. I'm really trying hard to get my so many points in math. Plus, I'm taking your curriculum by...
Absolutely.
How? Am I downloading it? Am I going... Because I'm in a school. I'm trying to follow your thinking.
So we run leadership academies where we...
During the school holidays?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So during the school holidays, the people that you've chosen come to be taught about leadership.
Yes.
Right.
And the other thing is, my other life is as an academic, as a professor in a university. Right. And through that, I actually got to design service learning curricula.
Right.
And that's what I'm bringing to my work with Akili Dada, which is designing a curriculum that will enable young women to grow in the way that they think about transforming their communities.
Right, so the question that I would ask now is where do the young girls go to have these, if I'm following your thinking, where do they come during the holidays? Are there centers dotted across the country?
No, we have, we run a leadership academy every couple of months that brings together all the young women from all the schools. They come together here in Nairobi. We select different venues. Right. We run the academy for about 4 days, and that's an opportunity for them to connect with each other, share lessons learned with each other, and listen to a variety of experts, as well as participate in all sorts of arts and crafts, creative thinking, self-defense training. It's a very varied curriculum. Right. At the same time, an important part of our curriculum is learning by doing. And so the most important thing they're doing is running their service projects. And so in any given school holiday, you've got, in 36 counties, young women running service projects.
Wanjiru, I'd have said that it's a given that one of our major problems is, call it what you will, tribalism, ethnicity, communityism. Now, in your model, there's this idea of going back to where you came from.
Yes.
What is in your curriculum a component that takes into this thing of unity and diversity and tolerance and acceptance?
One of the things, and we mentioned Boniface Mwangi earlier on, one of the things that we've done in our curriculum in one of the leadership academies was actually have a showing of Boniface Mwangi's film around post-election violence, and had a moderated conversation with the young women, again coming from across the country, some of whose families still live in IDP camps to this day, right? Having a conversation with them about ethnic violence and what it means to be Kenyan. At the end of the day, we really believe if you can catch someone when she's 13 and reframe what it means to be Kenyan, so that it's not about retreating to your ethnic cocoon. And for the young women who maybe didn't know that they had such a direct connection to someone whose family was in an IDP camp. One of the Ekilidada scholars lost a sibling. Their house was torched in the neighborhood where they live. And having someone like that to share that experience really brings home the point about what we need to change. And again, the concept message with Ekilidada is we've got to do this differently. We've got to do it better, and it's up to the young generation to re-envision. We've inherited something great. What's going on with Kenya's democracy is tremendous, but the work is not done yet.
Wanjiru, whenever we can't have a conversation like this without bringing the word funding into place, because they're saying, you know, are you paying for all this out of your own pocket? Is money being poured? Are you as some sort of imperialist stooge who's trying to? Those kinds of criticisms pertain. How would you respond?
In the early years, my husband and I funded a fair bit of the work. And what's been important is to bring on partners, to bring on people who shared the vision that I had for this organization, both on staff. We don't pay lavish salaries, and being able to recruit amazing staff means they're giving to the organization, but not being out there earning the lavish salaries. That is a form of giving. Something that I'm really passionate about is redefining philanthropy, redefining giving, and redefining what we value. I look at each one of our mentors who spends a Saturday afternoon with their Ekilidada girls as a philanthropist. Those are resources that are coming to the organization. And I think it's important to broaden giving to being about not just about money. That said, for the first, we've been in existence for 8 years. For about the first 6 years, all the funding that we got was from individuals, including Kenyan individuals. And that was really important to us. Recently,
right, because the understanding is that we Kenyans are not philanthropists at all. We don't give a cent of our own money for do-gooding.
Kenyans are generous, and at the same time, Kenyans have, with very good reason, learned to distrust NGOs. There have been too many briefcase NGOs. And so the challenge that I take on is to say, can we do good social change work and ask Kenyans to dig in and give to support that work, while recognizing that Kenyans are generous. If you ask, most middle-class Kenyans are paying school fees for someone, somewhere. We need to recognize that. Most Kenyans are having a relative come and live in their home. That's a form of generosity and a form of giving.
Last word in saying, people hearing you and wishing to join the struggle, so to speak, how to help, how to be part of the process. Or is it full house? No more is required?
Oh, absolutely not. And as I said, we view resources as not just money. We need people's time, we need people's expertise. We've just had a young photographer join the team as a volunteer, coming and taking pictures so we can tell stories of the transformation that we're working towards. So we, all hands on deck, we need all the help we can get, not just financial, but anyone with skills. We're particularly looking for women who'd be willing to serve as mentors to their younger sisters.
You don't want men in all this?
Oh, hardly.
No.
I think it's a powerful message when it's someone who looks like you, who can tell a story similar to yours, saying, you can do this. It's, at the same time, we've also got some of the best friends to this organization are men. So it's about gender equality. And there's a lot of ways that in Kenya, when we talk about gender equality, we talk as if it's just women who have a gender. Men have a gender as well. And we're talking about equality of both.
We have to leave it there. Dr. Wanjiru Kamau Rutenberg, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.